What's up, YouTube? This is Too Raw for TV. All right, so shout out to the brother 78 Sports TV for his video calling out major news media outlets and their hypocrisy when it comes to many of these scandals, these sex scandals, particularly in this situation when it comes to Garth Brooks. All right. And he also talked about how a lot of people, a lot of you, don't show the same energy. And you make excuses for why you shouldn't show the same energy. But, it's not just, limited to this particular situation. It's a pattern. But anyway, I want to talk about it, but I want to talk about specifically TMZ. I've noticed TMZ has done this for years. Excuse me. I've noticed TMZ has done this for years. When it comes to certain folks like Diddy, it's all day, every day. And they go into detail and they give you the murky, often disgusting, disturbing details, right? But for Garth Brooks or Vince McMahon or James Dolan, the way that they write it, it's more lawyerly and it's more like a trial lawyer writing about a case. Whereas with us, it's more tabloidsy, which is what they are. I'll give you an example I'm talking about. So I want to get off Diddy because I know the argument will be, well, Diddy, man, it's just 10,000 times worse than Garth Brooks. All of the women. Okay, fine. If you want to say that, fine. Look at what they wrote about when it comes to Jonathan Majors. Because essentially the only thing Jonathan Majors was guilty of was pushing his girlfriend back into a cab. Whereas Garth Brooks has been accused of viciously raping a woman, right? But Jonathan Majors got so much more energy. This is a man who was being chased in the New York streets by a crazed woman. But somehow he was found guilty of, I don't even remember what the hell he was found guilty of anymore. Even, regular folk, well, I'm going to say regular folk, but even people who don't even pay attention to these things and not black people are outraged by the fact he was found guilty. Because of as Stephen A. Smith puts it, the preponderance of evidence, right? But then the preponderance of evidence didn't work in that scenario. But they gave you so many details. And they even told some of you primates that the cops were trying to coach this woman to lie, to say that he raped her. And then the reports were showing that some of these cops were disturbed that home belonged to a black man. And that they were trying to put cases on him then. Was he a drug dealer? Or how does he afford his apartment? None of your goddamn business how he afford the apartment. None of this was widely reported. All of the information and all of the info was leaked to make Jonathan Majors look like he was guilty. So he was guilty in the public opinion, the court of public opinion, I should say. While people like Garth Brooks and James Dolan and Vince McMahon, it's not as widely disseminated, this information. As 78 pointed out, there's some disturbing info when it comes to these text messages. Now, Garth Brooks has been on the record saying that there was no relationship, but apparently, according to these text messages, there had to be one. There at the very least had to be a relationship. So there's something there. Plus, there are text messages showing that, showing that he was basically harassing her at the very least. So there's something there. But TMZ picks and chooses. Another thing TMZ does is this. When it comes to us, the wording can be different. It'll say, I'm just making up a name. Tukey Johnson. I really had to go on the stretch for that one, right? I just had to make sure that you get the inference here. Tookie Johnson, matter of fact, Pookie Johnson, singer Pookie Johnson, accused of rape by a woman, and they'll report what that woman claims in her lawsuit or whatever, right? Or the charges, right? No, let's go with lawsuit because most of the time they just trying to get money and not justice. But let's just say he was accused of rape. She's trying to get such amount of money for pain and suffering. Let's say $10 million, and this article will be totally from her vantage point. The most they'll say in that last line is Tookie's reps have no comment on the matter. And then when they keep reporting on it, you get her side of the story. Or you get just charges. You get these explosive new charges coming day after day after day. They never report from Tookie's side of things. But with Garth Brooks, they reported the allegations. And then the very next article was Garth Brooks' side of things, how this is a shakedown. The wording was different. They don't say Garth Brooks claims. Garth Brooks says. And then they reported it. And then that's the last impression you get is that this is a shakedown. And they haven't reported about it since. Now look, this ain't some fringe guy. This is Garth fucking Brooks. Statistically, the biggest solo music artist in American history. Even bigger than Michael Jackson, even bigger than Elvis, right? This should be getting wall-to-wall coverage, but it's not. But a somewhat obscure actor like Jonathan Majors, and yeah, I know he was in Creed, but come on. He wasn't no household name before Creed. A previously obscure actor was all over the headlines. All over the headlines. So yeah, and TMZ has a pattern of this. When it comes to Robert Kraft and James Dolan and Vince McMahon, when they write their articles, it's very lawyerly. It's boring. They purposely make it boring. Vince McMahon's situation is very explosive. Apparently, including the diarrhea that he put on a woman's back. This guy literally took a dump on that woman's back, allegedly. And a nasty one, doing a disgusting threesome. These things aren't put out there, but people are making all these jokes about baby oil. That's the difference, and I'm sick of it. So all I'd say is TMZ, keep the same energy. Keep the same energy. Why is it that it seems like you only go at brothers that hard? Every day, a new article about brothers. Even some dude that ain't been relevant since 1997. A football player was arrested for breaking a vacuum cleaner. That got reported almost as much as this situation with Garth Brooks. Well, that's all I got to say about it.